Welcome to Cinemophile, where we bring you the best in independent, documentary, and foreign films, and we talk to the people who made them. I'm your host, Mike Caspar, and you can find out more about the program by going to cinemophilepod.com. It's January 2021, and Britain has just entered its third COVID lockdown, and all theaters remain closed for actors Sam Crane and Mark Osterveen. The future looks bleak as the pandemic drags on. Mark, who lives alone and increasingly socially isolated while Sam is panicking about how he's going to support his family. During an online session of Grand Theft Auto, they stumble across a theater, and they hit on an idea. Could we stage Shakespeare's Hamlet inside the game of Grand Theft Auto? And with the help of co-director Pinny Grylls, Sam and Mark and an amazing array of gamers put this idea in motion. It is technically a documentary, although it's hard to say what it is, but it's certainly a beautifully done film, no matter what you want to call it. It is Grand Theft Hamlet. We're joined today by the co-directors and co-writers, Sam Crane and Pinny Grylls. To both of you, welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Thanks so much for having us.
I am so happy to talk to you about this film because of all the films that I've been pitched in recent months, this stands out as a unique film amongst all of those that have been offered to me for interviews, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. It's funny. It's terrific. Whose idea was this?
Well, I guess it was both of our ideas because
Okay.
first had the idea of putting on Hamlet inside Grand Theft Auto, trying to do Shakespeare inside that computer game.
Yeah.
And then I had the idea of making a documentary about it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, where did that idea come? First of all, I will confess I'm not a gamer. I only have it's just a broad overview of gaming. So to me, this is a world which I was not familiar with and certainly enjoyed my time in it. This is something very possible, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a sandbox space.
Yeah, I think that game is you start playing it and you realize how freeing it seems in there, and you just get this feeling you can kind of do anything. It's
I'm amazed that no one's thought about doing that before. Although probably there has been someone, but they didn't make a film about it.
maybe, I don't know.
But yeah, it's a bit crazy. I guess out of the pandemic, lots of creative projects emerged, and this was one of them. And we just happened to be crazy enough to see it through.
But it's really nice to hear because I think some people might think about this film, they think, oh, I'm not into gaming, I won't get it, it's not for me. So it's really nice to hear people because we've heard from lots of people who haven't been gamers before and maybe have preconceptions about gaming and about this game in particular. And so it's really, we've heard it a lot actually. We say, I never imagined that, this world would be so interesting and funny and beautiful. So yeah, I always love hearing that.
Yeah, and I will tell you that it's not some sort of prejudice. It's just this time in my life, it's not something that seemed interesting to me at the time. But having watched Grand Theft Hamlet, yes, just what you said, I can understand why this would create such an attraction and space for people to express themselves. I mean, at the end of the day, with the internet, this is just in my mind, an iteration of the internet and all of its good and bad forms. And so congratulations on carving out this place within this game. And I struggle to call this a documentary. It's an interesting concept. I started thinking about what would I call this because it's close to a narrative film
Hmm.
with a lot of like Bergman-esque behind breaking the fourth wall moments. It's to me, that's what it felt like. So
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that I try and play with the documentary form a little bit in the edit. And there's like moments where I try and get the audience to wonder whether what they're watching is real or scripted or actually happened or what, and actually play with that a little bit. Like, for
yeah,
instance, there's a moment where Sam makes a phone call to the National Theatre, and of course, it's ridiculous. He goes and picks up a phone in the game, and we all know that he's not actually making a call in the game, like he's making it in real life. So
But the thing is, when you're playing that game, you kind of feel like you can do that. So that's what that I think that's also what we were kind of getting into. And also, it's such a playful environment. It's a game. You're kind of messing around and
yeah.
you're make believing, and so
But
yeah.
also, we're playing with like layers of reality. So I
Mhm.
suppose, Hamlet itself is about, there's a play within a play in
Yeah,
Hamlet.
yeah,
And there's people pretending to be something they're not. He's often wondering if the people that he's interacting with, his mother, his stepfather, his friends, even Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, are they really who they say they are? And I guess that when you're in a game space, you're interacting with avatars, and you only see their gamer tag. But sometimes you can weirdly have really quite authentic experiences together, and so I was kind of trying to capture that as well, like in the things that people were feeling, and the conversations that you and Mark were having were very real. I mean, some of the things that Mark expresses in the film about his moments of mental health crises, that is incredibly real.
And
And
actually, probably more real than any conversation we've had with him in real life. So
yeah, and there's
yeah,
something about putting it inside a game and he's talking to you through an avatar that makes it weirdly easier to talk about those things, because it's like when you're driving in a car next to someone and they're not looking at you, but they're telling you stuff that they're feeling. It's easier somehow than sitting in front of them.
yeah, yeah. And to, I could not agree more. I would like to express to our listeners just how authentic so much of this film feels. And the other thing about it, unexpectedly, but because of the nature of the game of Grand Theft Auto, there are so many hilarious moments in this film, just out and out funny. And one of my favorite things about the film is the people auditioning for these roles and how chaos and violence is visited at any random moment in the course of these rather pedestrian ways of casting a film. And I just thought there's that contrast, and it's throughout the film. One of my favorite moments is, I'm not going to give too much away, was when you put someone in charge of security. And then that moment, and then what manifests itself as security is absolutely. I mean, There's just so many moments where this is really, really funny, but at the same time, those unguarded moments amongst the cast, amongst you, Mark, and yourself, Sam, are just, yeah, absolutely, rendering in that regard. So it's just an unexpected film. First of all, the premise is unexpected, and just within the film, there are so many unexpected moments in it. And I don't know if I'm expressing that very well, but that's just what kept coming back to me.
I guess you're a film school radio podcast. I guess it's like the thing that I found such an interesting thing about making this film was I felt like we were sort of pushing on the edges of what cinema could be,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know. And in some ways, making a film inside a computer game was incredibly freeing, because you don't have to go anywhere with a heavy camera. You don't have to wait for, you don't have to kind of organize like loads of extras. You don't have to do all the things that you would normally have to do. But then there's still things that you do have to think about that are the same as well.
mm.
yeah,
Like for instance, the light changing, which happens more rapidly inside a computer game. I think it's every,
It's 30 times quicker than it does in real life. So like
yeah.
a day is 48 minutes.
Yeah, so you have like continuity issues, like if you're filming something and the conversation actually like takes 3 hours, but you want to only cut it down to 2 minutes, like you've got lots of different lighting that you're going to have to deal with, right? So
yeah,
it is lots of challenges that you don't really see on the screen, but
Mm.
that were there,
yeah, yeah.
in the
Well,
film.
well, and one of the things that I had to be exceedingly freeing as a filmmaker is you can create the most elaborate locations, just the most incredible situations and locations for your characters to be in, which would be nearly impossible to do in a normal film.
Well, yeah, unless you were Ridley Scott or something, Yeah, but we didn't have a budget of millions of pounds.
Yeah.
Sam was then in after the pandemic. He was in Napoleon.
Oh yeah,
Ri-
the Ridley Scott movie.
You know,
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the full-on machinery of a
yeah,
massive film.
yeah, with hundreds and hundreds of extras and a sort of
Yeah,
multi-million dollar shoot, and so I guess we were able to kind of recreate elements of that, weren't we?
Yeah.
From our bedroom,
Yeah, we did scenes on top of a blimp. We did
Yeah.
we did it on like a luxury yacht.
And that's what we wanted to do, because the game's world is so extraordinary. There's so many beautiful locations in that game, and we just really wanted to take advantage of that and show people who maybe haven't played the game what all this extraordinary stuff in there. And it's just fun to do that. And we kept on having these moments to think like, okay, we could do. Hang on, no, why don't we do we could use the blimp to get from that scene to, why don't we just do the scene on the blimp? Let's try it. It's crazy, but it's fun.
It was like we were kids in a candy shop. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it all comes across in this film, Grand Theft Hamlet. I want to let people know they can go to grandthefthamlet.com to find out more about the film. It's going to be screening here in Los Angeles on February 21st. Be looking for this film, because in some ways I feel like this is a film that is a poke at a lot of filmmakers who will see this and go, yeah, I think that's something I could do, or I can explore that space. And especially the contrast. Although at the end of the day, it's not as much of a contrast as it may sound like initially. Grand Theft Auto and Shakespeare. The conflicts, the humanity, the all of the foibles and failings of humanity are all there. The violence visited upon each other is all there, and it's part of the zeitgeist in this film, in this community, in this game, if you will. It's my hat's off to you. I've seen a lot of very interesting films, and certainly that push the envelope in terms of filmmaking. But boy, this one stands out for a lot of reasons. So my congratulations to both of you for this work. Yeah.
Just to say, so it's on the 21st of February. It comes out on Mubi.
Okay.
So stream on Mubi. Yeah. So check out Mubi.com and you'll find out all about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you. Thank you so very, very much. Again, it's called Grand Theft Hamlet. You heard that right. We've been speaking with the co-directors and co-writers of the film, and that would be Sam Crane and Pinny Grylls. Thank you so very much for your time today.
Thanks so much, Mike. It's been great talking to you.
As well. Thanks. You have been listening to Cinemaphile with Mike Kaspar, the place where you will hear from the best in independent documentary and foreign filmmakers. Please check out our previous interviews as well as upcoming interviews and special programming by going to cinemaphilepod.com. We are also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, searchable under Cinemaphile with Mike Kaspar. Until next time, thank you for listening.